Okay, guys, so welcome to the channel, and the Codeforces Div 3 round just ended, and I am presenting you the part A problem, which is the lever. Sorry, uh, because I just tried only the two problems, which is the part A and part B, and there are also some good questions present in the contest. But let me show you how I approach the problem lever. See, in the first 5 minutes, I just tell you the how the questions are and what are the test cases as well as the input and how we got the output from this inputs. And also we read the note because this is one of the interesting things in the content that I like. So in the first, we see the in a divergent universe, the lever iterates itself given a two array A and B of a length n. So here we have a choose a random index I in which that a of I is greater than b of I. It is a condition basically. So we need to decrease a of I by 1, and if there is a not exist such I, ignoring this step. And in the second line, we see the index I such that a of I is less than b of I. Then we increase a of I by 1, and if there is a does not exist, then we just ignore this. Okay. And here we say that given a two array, find the number of iteration that lever does, and it can be either shown the number is fixed or all possibilities of random indices. And the input, we see the test cases. Here the test number test cases. And in the first line, we see the a test contain one integer n, and it's basically how many numbers are in the array. In the second line, each test case contain an integer of a1, a2. It's basically an array. Let's suppose a, in which we have elements n. Okay. The third line, each test case contain n integers of b array. So like if we have three elements, then b1, b2, b3, just like that. And if we see the input like 2 7 3 and 5 6, so after reading these two lines, okay, these two lines are the most important line. So what thing we just do for the read after reading the two lines, we do that if we see 7 is greater than 5, then what we need to do, we need to do decrease a of I by 1. Okay, so let me do here 7 minus 1. Okay, here you see the note, first line. In the first iteration, the lever decreases a1 by 1 and increases a2 by 1. Why it increases a2 by 1? Because in the second line, we just say b of I is greater than a of I. Then we just increase a of I by 1. So here we just increase 5 minus 1. Okay, increases a of I by 1. Okay, so 7 is less 6, and in the second case 3. Okay, so 3 and 6. 3 is less than 6. So 6 is greater than we increase our 5 by 1. So 3 plus 1. We have a 6 plus 4. And in the how many elements we just iterates these operations? In the two elements? No, in the three. How? See. In the 7 and 5, we just see the number 6 and 4. And in the 3 and 6, we just say 3 is greater than not greater than 6, 6 is greater than 3. Now then we iterate, we just take a variable, just name suppose as count as well as iterator. So if we do iterator plus plus, it's become 1. And if by a2 it increases also 1, because on the second condition we just plus 3 plus 1 equals to 4, and a becomes 6 comma 4. So we just write output 3. And in the condition 3 1 4, basically I just show you my codes so that you can understand that what things I gonna say to you, because in the beginning you didn't understand that what kind of statement I says. So see, this is my code, and I just input all the test cases and as well as the size, how many elements in the array, and making an array of an and bn, and I trading for loop to just input all the numbers in the inputs like 7 5 and 3 6 whatever it says. And we just write a variable, just name itera. We can write anything like count and iterations, and apply the while true, means a while loop, and see if our f of I is greater than b of I, then we just minus the number, just like 7 is greater than 5, then we just need to do 7 minus 1. Okay, 6. And if it's a disable equal to true, it's a basically a boolean function for checking and iterate each elements. Then we break after the one element. Okay, and after one element, then we do the iteration plus plus. Okay, this gives us the input. This is the main line. I iteration plus plus. And if our disk break, means if it's not happen, this statement is not working, means a of I is not greater than b of I. Okay, so we just need to apply the for loop for the second element. Like if we iterate for I equals to 0 to n and checking if a of I is less than b of I, then we just need to add the element by 1 and then break it. This statement is just work for after the this statement. If this statement is not working, we just need to apply this condition. Okay, and then we just do the see out iteration, because the main line here we see iteration plus plus working. How? Let me show you my Notion notes that how I can just try run this code. Like say in the example one, you can see n equals to 2 and a 7 3 and b equal to 5 comma 6. In the iteration one, we just need to do 7 to 6 because 7 is greater than 5. And then step 2, b1 is greater than a1, so we need to do 3 minus 1, sorry 3 plus 1. Result is 6 comma 4. And in the iteration 2, because it's working on the both the element, and then iteration does the game what it does. And step 1, we just do 6 to 5 because still is still greater than 5. And if we checking the second 4 to 5, because as if we see, yes, 4 is still smaller than 6, so we need to do 6 minus 1, and the result is here 5 comma 5. Iteration 3, is there any a of I is greater than b of I? No, so we just need to stop. Okay, so here we are given our answers 3, and yes, in the first output we have also a 3, and this is the overall code. See this. Here's overall approach. You can pause the screen and read what I write for the better understanding. And here we just we are flagged to remember whatever the step 1 decreases actually happen in the iteration. This is the line for checking the first condition, and this implements step 1 from the problem. Find the index with a of I is greater than b of I, decreases that a of I by 1, and set a dis equals to true. Then after we apply iteration plus plus and increase the iteration count by 1. Important. This is the done before checking the dis. That means if the even step is failed, then dis equals to false, and this iteration is still counted. How? If dis break, then we just need to step 1 was not possible, and no a of I is greater than b of I. The whole process ends here. Then we need to break the loop after writing this code, and this implement a step 2 which is increases 1 such that a of I by 1. Okay, and if we see the second test cases like this, n equals to 3, a contains 314 and b also contains 314. So if we see step by step, so here we have a first iteration which is equals to 0. Okay, it's a base condition. And in the step 1, if our dis false, because if a of I is greater than b of I, we don't have a of I greater than b of I, because both the elements either in the array of a or either in the array b, they both are equal. So we need to iteration plus plus only one time. Okay, because in the second time if we do, our loop breaks because there is no such element present in the loop in which we apply the second condition, which is the b of I is greater than a of I. Okay, here is the code flow. You can see that for the third test case in which we have a 10 and 1. So if we see it is 10 greater than 1, then with this equals to true, and iteration plus plus means iteration equals to 1. If we do iteration 2, still 9 is greater than 1, and still 8 is greater than 1, 7 is greater than 1, 6 is greater than 1. It's iterate up to 2 is greater than 1. Then we have iteration 9, and if we check for iteration 10, our if a of 0 is greater than b of 0, means 1 is greater than 1, not, but we still need to do iteration plus plus because according to the question we have to do this, and iteration is equals to 10, and here the loop end. So I hope you understand that why what I want to say to you. This is the overall approach, and we meet in the next contest. So keep learning and bye.